Slingshots and boomerangs, adrenaline spikes and plummets, risky timing, and all things duality. I'm Gigi O'Brien, the frequency matchmaker. Welcome to my universe. Let me give you the breakdown, the manifestation insights on February's 222 portal. And that energy is feeling like it's going to be nothing short of lightning in a bottle vibe. It's going to be a mood and a half. Now, my intuition came through and it was saying that you're going to have these moments throughout February leading into this portal where you feel larger than life and then depleted into oblivion. So you're going to feel surges of energy, and also you're going to feel extremely drained at some points during this month. So really tune in to the portal. We're going to cover the number and the numerology of 222, what that vibrationally signifies, and what you need to be focused on to leverage this numeric energy to serve your manifestations. Now, January saw us in the themes of new beginnings, the 111 unity, whereas number 2 is going to show us a lot about that duality, polarity, contrast, and all things opposition. So you're going to see balancing of scales, and you're going to be bringing harmony into that. So when I had the theme come through, slingshots and boomerangs, I really wondered what that meant, but it made a lot of sense once I thought about it. Slingshots are pulled back and then the stone is released forward, much like arrows. So that being pulled back and being pushed forward is just like the natural flow of life. And you'll see in the laws of the universe, the law of polarity requires opposition for there to be rhythm, law of rhythm between the states of polarity. So you're going to have breakthroughs and you're like winning, and you're going to have setbacks, but those are not losses. They are just the divine balance for this month that is going to see a lot of duality. So ride the highs and make peace in the lows, because you're going to have so much up for grabs in manifesting if you understand how to recognize the duality in your environment, your soul and yourself, as it seeks that expansion to align you with your desires and your destiny. Now, the boomerang that came through, I think, means that we're going to see some things looping. Themes are going to be reoccurring. Things that you put into motion, maybe you're going to see them looping back to you, and they might have left. They might have been in a state of departure, but they're returning. This often indicates that there's an invitation for a lesson for you to step into. So if you notice the boomerang and things are coming back, that's a looping lesson opportunity, and it's not a trigger, it's just an invitation. So leverage the law of correspondence to see where that mirroring is happening. What you release will come back to you until the expansion is integrated. So let's dive right in so you can get to manifesting your wildest effing dreams. In case you're new to my universe, I am the self-proclaimed goddess of portals, because seriously, over the last 5 years or so, where I really started taking manifestation more seriously from a ritual practice and leveraging of specific techniques that were working for me, portal days always were the days where I found the most profound shifts. I had revelations, I had miracle factors, I had surges of energy, clarity, I had breakthroughs and releasing in ways that other ritual days didn't. For instance, new moon, phoenix, massive ritual for another time. But portal days really anchored me in to my higher consciousness, my divinity, and really showed me where I needed to release and where I needed to be more open to receiving. So they are dimensional doorways that allow us to access energy that's not readily available on all the other days. And we connect to our higher states of consciousness, our soul tribe, our spirit guides, and our angels. So if you're looking for that guidance, if you're looking to reconnect with your intuition and your higher realms of all-knowing infinite intelligence, then these days are the days that you want to tap into. Now, I did an entire video about how to manifest exactly using portal day energy and why they're so powerful. So I'm going to tag that up there. But for now, let's get into the numerology of 222. Let's get it. I love a bit of numerology. I'm not the expert at it, but I'm going to start linking with some numerologists. So any of you out there who have faves, please comment. But for now, I'm just going to give you in a nutshell what the vibration of 2 carries. Now, every number carries with it a vibration, and that's a signature of the energy that it is communicating via messages. So you'll often see angel numbers 222, 111. When a number is in a sequence, it intensifies the energy that it carries. Now, 2 is a number often associated with partnership, cooperation, collaboration, and we see compassion and compromise, because where is their partnership sometimes without compromise? So we see 2 carries that traditionally. Now, one of the main themes that and distinctions I want to make around the numerology of 2 is balance and harmony, because it got me to thinking of what the difference is between balance and harmony. Now, balance looks at the law of polarity in the laws of the universe, whereas harmony looks at the law of rhythm. So balance will look at opposition, and opposition is required. Polarity is required for balance, like dark, light, hot, cold. In between, we have all the other temperatures that we experience. And for instance, negative, positive in electricity, that is what allows us to have electricity flowing the way that it does, from high to low potentials. Now, harmony looks at the law of rhythm. So between the North and the South Pole, we have rhythm. Between the seasons, we have rhythm. So we have winter and summer, autumn and spring. But because that's a natural flow, it's a cycle, much with the same as the lunar cycle, we can experience cycles of flow and rhythm. But we have that because we have the extremes, the polarity. So while polarity looks at separation, rhythm looks at integration. And I love the way that obviously we look at separation in terms of the 3D consciousness, ego being the separation from the divine self, and we look at rhythm and flow as integration and unity and connection. So when we separate ourselves, we often feel a bit of like misalignment and vibrational whiplash. So I find this very telling on how polarity can be received and resisted, whereas it actually doesn't need to be resisted. It needs to be accepted, and it needs to be embraced. So in art, we see balance appearing as equality in composition. And I loved this because a lot of people may resonate with how art shows up, and you require balance, but harmony needs balance. So you can't have harmony without balance, because balance is the equality in the composition. So how the elements within the art relate to each other. And that forms a state of equilibrium. And that gives art the harmony that it has, that makes it aesthetically pleasing. So we need both. It's not one or the other. While polarity is this or that, and harmony is this and, we can use both. Both are very foundational laws in the Code of the Cosmos, the first pillar of understanding the laws of the universe. Have law of divine oneness, law of gender, law of polarity, law of rhythm. So jump into Velocity, links down there if you want to understand more about that. There's also Velocity, the masterclass. What you need to know is, because February is a month where it's 222 portal, we're going to have a lot of that duality, polarity, contrast. So you need to achieve harmony within yourself and balance within the polarity. So you're going to want to be aligning your outer world with your inner truth, right? And it's going to be showing you a lot of things. Is this true for you? And you discover more of your truth and more of your desire by the opposition of it. So things that are not true for you, things that are not pleasurable for you, are going to cause you pain. And that pain and discomfort is going to make you double down on the things that you desire, because you seek the pleasure of experiencing them. So they are just showing you opposition, polarity, contrast, duality. It's showing you that there's more to the story, and the story is going to show you more about your truth. And there's nothing more potent in frequency than truth. So with that comes the discomfort of change, because as you saw, 111 brought in a lot of new possibilities, a lot of new beginnings. And as we got the excitement of those new beginnings and the inspiration, we started moving with them. But to sustain them requires a certain degree of stamina and balance and harmony, as those changes may require some discomfort. Change and growth means growing pains. And sometimes there's pain in the pursuit of pleasure. So you have to have a lot of grace as you experience the duality of these new beginnings taking form. And especially if you're making those powerful decisions that were made in January. Hello, new background. Lots to tell you about the decisions that got made in January that catapulted me into tremendously amazing directions, but we'll talk about that on the podcast. Now, 2 is a number that's ruled by the moon, and it's a very feminine energy. And as you will know from velocity and from my knowledge on the lunar cycle, as I understand it, the moon is feminine and the sun is masculine. Now, with feminine, you have the energy of flow. You have the energy of receiving rather than building and producing. It is more effortless, and masculine is more effortful. So flow versus force. We need the masculine sometimes, but when that is hitched to the feminine as the establishing frequency of flow, then the masculine falls into flow and takes the action in alignment with that divine energy. So the moon energy and the feminine energy, law of gender, feminine and masculine, not necessarily female and male from a biological categorical sense, but the feminine energy also is a very emotional, intuitive energy, right? The masculine is a very intellectual, which is the thinking things through. The feminine is about the knowing. So you have a huge opportunity to tap into the 222, especially as it relates to duality, to seek the knowing that helps you move forward in the journey of your manifesting. Because manifestation has a lot to do with what's blocking us and stopping us. Now, this is the power of portal days, and the power of velocity is to experience quantum release so you can experience rapid receiving. So now the other thing that 2 talks about is the empathy that's required. And this came through very strongly, not just empathy for yourselves, but empathy for others, because the 2 is a number of partnership and cooperation. You may be experiencing resistance or some type of not cooperative energy as you move through the month. So where can you have empathy? Where can you leverage duality to see both sides of the coin? And we're going to be talking about that when we move forward into the themes of the month. Now, I'm just looking at my notes. Beware of misunderstandings and quick reactions. Seek to understand and be slow in responses. So that was a big thing that came through, because your intuition is going to support you, but it's going to be a polarizing time. And when things are polarizing, we get very quick to react. I've experienced a lot of short fuses and anger from my emotional observation of my emotional self. And I'm like, what is this showing me? What is this energy? I'm not used to being angry. And when you have the observer role and you're stepping back and you're embracing the knowledge that it carries, that you can then embody and move from wisdom of knowing yourself using your intuition and that feminine energy, you move through things real quick. And there's nothing the universe loves more than expanding that consciousness in alignment with what you desire, because the goal is always to get your frequency to match up. So just a fair warning, because it's going to be a polarizing time. Mood swings may be in full effect, and because it's contrast and duality, you may have euphoria versus depression. You may feel totally in control and then feel completely chaotic. One day you'll have it all together, the other you may feel like you're losing your marbles. And just slow down enough to be in response and hold the space to use your intuition to know how to reclaim your alignment. Because if you're too busy reacting, you're complaining, you're giving energy to the polarity, then guess what? You're going to be attracting tons more of it, and quick, because you'll see things just not working out. Like the cup of coffee will spill, you'll get the flat tire, the dog will run away. All the things that can go wrong, Murphy's Law. We're going to be talking about O'Brien's Law of manifestation on one of the podcast episodes. But for now, let's get you into mastery mode so that you can leverage this 222 using the themes that are going to help you in your manifestations for this portal. Okay, the themes have to be my favorite part of manifestation portals. And I don't know if it's this type of self-fulfilling prophecy, because I speak things into existence that I'm so clear with intention, and I leverage the knowing exactly what I'm lasering in on with my journal prompts, and I make it really simple. I never do more than 3 to 5 because I'm so lasered in on what I'm calling in that it actually arrives sometimes the days leading into the portal. So do not skip this step, and use your intuition to tweak this or ask yourself, what's true for me? Where do my themes sit, knowing what I know now? What did that activate within my consciousness that best serves my knowledge and wisdom to connect and attract my desires? So the 3 themes for February's 222 portal are: see the sides. And if you're in my universe, you know I always read from my notes. Flip the metaphorical coin and see all the sides to your mirrored reality. What is it showing you? What other perspective have you not considered that can illuminate a higher vibrational path? Oof, this is so good, because I feel like where we are with the humanity now, and a shifting of timelines, especially as the 3D consciousness wants to grab hold and leverage that dense, heavy emotional frequency and get people to magnetize to that with devastation and all types of unfoldings and fear. The 5D consciousness is equally magnetic, and those who are focusing in on that realm are really seeing things transcend in their reality very, very quickly. So you need to flip the metaphorical coin and see all the sides to your mirrored reality. Try to illuminate the higher vibrational path. What that means is come home to love, come home to gratitude, law of relativity, put things in perspective. Like law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Things are always shifting and moving. Energy is always moving. Creator consciousness allows you the power to shift energy in an instant. So you need to, oof, my computer just glitched while doing that. Love that. Noticing all the energy in the room. So you need to come back and claim that, especially during these times when things are going to be in their duality and in their polarity. Now, the second theme is harmonic timing. Timing. This came through so much, and I was like, what is it? Like, what is it about timing? And at the start of this video, I mentioned risky timing. I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities, and when we see two come up, there are a lot of things that present themselves as opportunities with partnerships, cooperation, collaboration, growth, expansion, scale. And that could be professionally, it can also be personally, with what you could be doing with your lives and what you're joining forces to experience. It might be travel, it might be all these types of new ideas. You'll know where this rings true for you, but there is balance required and to move with harmony. So have harmonic timing. This is not a time to rush, but to be in harmony internally and externally before moving with opportunities. See partnerships and collaborations, but you must be energetically in cooperation with soul and self before you can master divine timing. So really pay attention to the harmony within yourself, especially as it relates to what is divinely aligned for you, because we can get distracted, and that distraction, it's disassociating us from the traction of the aligned self that moves with the vision that you have in your destiny. Because a lot of things might come up, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. So really be in tune with yourself and be in harmony and move with the timing that feels divine for you. Do not be in a rush right now. Now, the third theme is dance through duality. Test challenges polarity contrast. The yin sword fights the yang, but only as an art of balance. Think of how captivating fencing is. It's an art of advancing and retreating. Like, think about fencing. I don't know why this was the metaphor that came through, but it's such an art, and both are necessary to master that like very captivating essence of fencing. And it's just such posture, and I find fencing so graceful. So there was something that was so metaphorically, divine around this coming through as a way to paint the picture for you of dancing through the duality, because the advancing and the retreating is very important. The retreating especially, because while there is energy expenditure, there's also energy rejuvenation, and we need to retreat into self and nurture and restore and reconcile before we go advancing again. And I think that when we are in periods where we're not advancing and we're in retreat and we don't realize that we're reestablishing our energy to advance again, we see it as we've slowed down, we've lost our mojo, we're not doing enough, I was doing so much more before. But know that both are relevant. It might be in love where you're like, oh, everything's going so well. Why isn't it going so well? Like, it used to be more passionate, it used to be more intimate, I used to feel closer. But both are relevant. Like, everything is polarity and duality. So see every side of the coin. Again, we come back to that. See the sides. Harmonic timing. Trust the timing of the things picking up again and falling off again, and picking up again and falling off again. And where can you be more in reflection and dance through that duality to see it as an opportunity for growth when things start to slow down rather than speed up? Who are you being? What are you noticing? What's frustrating you? Where's your emotion showing you something about your alignment? So pushing forward, pulling back, the power of acceptance of this flow. And so that concludes the themes for this month. If you want the audio files, the subconscious and subliminal meditations, the portal things, you're going to want to stick around and see what I'm going to bring for you in the next little section. If you have not done one of my meditations before, you are missing out. Literally, I use sound frequency specifically for portal days. There is a subliminal meditation using the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency of the Earth's heartbeat. That synchronizes you, and I don't stop there because I understand the layers of consciousness. What I also do is work on a subliminal level to integrate the energy of the portal and connect you to your higher self, your intuition, your soul tribe, and call in what is necessary for you to bridge the gap of your manifestations. So you're going to want to click the link in the description called Velocity. You'll find everything you need there and more. And inside of Velocity membership, you will also get all the other things, the journal prompts, the supporting materials, and all these other manifestation resources that quantum leap you, because obviously you need to know exactly how to do something, when to do something, and when not to push because you're in quantum release, and when to pull things in because you're in rapid receiving. So I am so excited to welcome you into my universe. Please click the link. If you have any questions, message me, drop them down here if something isn't clear. I love engagement. I love community. I love connection. But more than anything, your happiness is my mission. So let's get to creating the life that you have always dreamed of. Happy 222 portal. I will see you soon. If you have enjoyed this little nutshell of golden goodness for your manifestation, click like, subscribe, share with a friend, because amplified power when we unify. And listen, there are a lot of free resources. Join my universe. It's very fun. Manifestation is simple and easy in there, and I am very strategic, so it's no BS. It's like, here's what works, here's the science, here's the soul, here's you. Let's get going. So yeah, just g.academy, and there's links and stuff and all that. And if you want to connect with me on other platforms, just check out the description. But I'm so grateful that you joined me today, because you showed up for yourself, and there's nothing better than your evolution. Your happiness is my mission. See you soon.